There we go. We're recording. I now have to be on my best behaviour. Hello, everyone. Very nice to see you all. I am absolutely surprised at this, that you all want to know what I do when I go out and do neighbour letters. Right. The first thing that I would like to share with you is this. I take absolutely nothing away from the amazing results that people are having doing it the formatted way, which is you go out, you deliver letters, then you go back and then you knock the doors and engage. And John Zink is using basically the presentation to engage with people. All of that is brilliant, and I still think it's brilliant. It's just not me. I have to be honest, it's not me. I cannot do that. Is there anyone here? Would you put your hand up if you possibly feel I can't be in somebody's face? I've got to be a little bit more relaxed. Does anyone feel that way? Relaxed, want to be a little bit, yeah? I don't say that I think this force selling going on. I'm sure there isn't, but what I care about, could somebody mute that's got a phone going?
Good afternoon. Okay.
Right, let's ask him to mute. There we go, I've muted him. Right, so let's tell you what I've been doing, and then it's up to you, isn't it, whether you decide you like what you hear. I'm not going to show you the letters. They're on the partner portal. They're there for everybody, okay? But what I don't do is I don't go out and deliver a letter. I am going out with about 15, just 15. Now, that may not sound much because that's not even like a whole road, is it? But you'll understand why I go out with 15. Because I go out with a letter that I put in an envelope that's handwritten for my neighbour. Now, you've got to be authentic here. You cannot do this 5 miles away. All right. You can't go into the next town and make out their neighbours when they're not. This has got to be authentic. And I've always wanted to be authentic. I've wanted to have integrity. To me, that is most important. Okay, so that's why it has to be local. Now, my most local people, there are only 8 houses in our hamlet here. All right, there's a couple of rather posh manor houses. There's a farm a quarter of a mile away over there. There's a farm a quarter of a mile away over there. And then there's a few down the road. But if I went down the road half a mile, you would have to agree these are my local people. Likewise, the village is a mile away, Charlton Marshall, but that is my village. That's what we come under. I believe authentically that that is local. So what have I done? I've gone out with 15 letters and I've dressed normally, not in utility warehouse purple. I have had a little badge on, and I'm sorry, I'm still wearing my little piggy badge with its coins, okay? And I go out as a neighbour. So I'm just going to explain to you what I do. I knock the door. I have a little bag with them in, including some business cards. Now, please don't start all bombarding me afterwards and saying, where did you get these from? My cards are still the piggy cards. All right, but I spent out a lot of money and I had them made into beautiful fridge magnets. And they look rather gorgeous because they look like they're glass and they're very keepable, if there's such a word, okay? So I go out with a pile of my business cards and my letters, knock the door and say, hello, nice to meet you. My name's Lisa Ware. I've wanted to not just put a letter through a door because I feel it's terribly impersonal. I really do believe in the personal touch. And that's why I've come to see you, because I've recently moved into the village. And then I know this is not for, obviously some of you can't say that, but then I say to them, look, I live, you know, when you go into Park Hill and you go over the hill and down the bottom, ours is the cottage with the picket post fence and the little red letterbox, and that everyone goes, oh yeah, oh, so you moved in. Now what I'm now doing is engaging, and I'm doing what I consider is building rapport, genuinely. Wes calls it making friends to make friends. I am not expecting a quick return here. So I say to them that you've got to get this bit out quickly. I am here on business. However, I thought it would be so nice to say hello in person. Where I used to live, everybody knew me. Everyone knew who I was because I've had a little business for over 18 years. I love what I do. I love the fact it's genuinely helping people. But I must ask you, first of all, before I go into everything, please tell me, how long have you lived in the village? Now, Alan Pease tells us that questions are the answers. And the more that you can personally ask them questions, it shows you're genuinely interested in them. That's what we're always told. And I actually do believe that. So I've had people say, oh, well, I've been here 2 years, I've been here 5 years, I've been here 15 years, no matter what it is. And I say, oh, do you love living here? Because I've only been here barely a couple of months and I'm absolutely loving it. And I really want to get involved in village life. Now, I know that what I'm saying is very personal to me, and you're going to have to make up something, if you like the sound of this, that's personal to you, and then it's authentic. I've had them turn around and I've had the worst I've had was a chap that when I got into saying, he said, so what do you do? You know, you get a feel for people. You get a feel for somebody if they're happy that you're talking to them. And most of them are happy talking. I've had two say, I'm already a utility warehouse customer. One of them, he said, you've been pipped to the post. I said, oh, have I? He said, yes. He said, we've been a customer for 5 years. To which I said, could that possibly Winston that served you? And he went, yes, how do you know? I said, he's a trumpet player and I've trained him. I said, he's lovely. And I said, do you recommend this? And this chap said, yes, I do. And then I went, hang on a minute. When we came by and stopped in the Charlton Marshall Inn, were you not over in the far corner with your friend? And he went, oh, yes. I said, I thought I recognised your face. He opened the door further. Now that is a little bit like body language opening up, because he then wasn't hiding. He now opened the door, even though he was in his bathrobe. But we started to natter and we had a lovely little conversation. And I said, look, you must tell everyone all about this. I said, because every time you do, I don't know whether Winston's told you lately, but you're going to get £50 off your bill when they take all the services. And he went, really? I said, yeah. He said, oh God, I wouldn't know how to get hold of Winston now if I tried. And I said, well, I've got Winston's number if you'd like it, or if you want to, would you like a few of my business cards? Now, I don't think that that's untoward. And he took them and he went, oh, wow, what are these? I said, well, they're actually fridge magnets. I said, you pass them on to people that that you'd like to help. Now, that one's straight out of the mouth of Claire Hinger. Remember, people to help. Yeah. You give them to people that you'd like to help. And then when they come back to me or to Winston, we will treat them in exactly the same way as you found all the lovely courteous behaviour, all that personal touch, and guess what? You'll get £50 off your bill. And he went, oh, that's nice. So I gave him 4 of my cards and I left it at that. And then he turned around to me and he said, he's in next door and he isn't UW. And I've been telling him about it. Go and knock on his door. So I go next door and the chap opened and I said, oh, your neighbour. I said, John has just said to me that he's told, oh, hang on. He's just told me about that he's told you all about Utility Warehouse. I said, I'm here with a little letter. I said, but more important than that, I said, I want to say hello. I said, look, I've moved a couple of months ago. I'm over Park Hill. I'm not going to repeat what I say, all right, because you've got the gist of it. And I just believe it's so much nicer than just putting a letter through the door to say hello and to get to know my neighbours. And he went, oh, that's very kind of you. And I said, oh. I said, well, look, do take this letter. I said, do have my business card. I said, it's a fridge magnet. It means you can keep me on your fridge. And when you'd like to have a cost comparison, which is free, done, I said, look, why not give me a call as soon as you like? And I said, you know what? I'd love you to be as happy as John next door because he's raving about it. And he said, oh, right, okay. Now, he wasn't engaging much, so I left it at that. But what I am going to tell you is many of them, we had some lovely conversations. And each one I did say, look, do have a read. This isn't the time or the place, stood on a door, telling you all about it. I said, why don't I come back in a couple of days and knock on your door, find out what you've read, because you're going to have some questions. And then we can always decide if you want to take it further or whether you'd like me to make a proper time to come and see you. Now, there's a reason I don't say the word appointment. I'll tell you why. Appointment is too salesy. A time to come and see you. All right. Sometimes these little extra words just make a difference. Yeah. And that way you're giving them a chance to still read. But can I just say this to you? Having been from a sales background, I know this. If you already engage with someone, you have got a 50% more chance that you'll get an appointment than just putting that letter straight through the door and then going back. Because letters through the door, many of them possibly won't even be opened. They could end up in the recycling bin. That's what I honestly believe. But by engaging with someone, genuinely showing an interest, genuinely asking questions, you've got a real chance of getting some appointments. Now, what I do want to share is 3 of them were really good, but one in particular turned out wonderful. So what happened? It was the last door, actually. It was number 15. And I stood there and thought, shall I, shan't I? And I'll tell you why, because this darling cottage, right, it had a gate across, and behind the gate, there was a little kennel. And I thought, oh, I don't know whether I should or not. But I thought, oh, go for it. Knock the door. Chap opens up, and all the stuff I started with, hi, I've been knocking on your neighbours' doors. Hello, I'm saying hello to everyone. I'm new to the village. I really, really just didn't want to put a letter through your door because it's so impersonal. I do believe in the personal touch. And we had a lovely chat. Now, what transpired, I said to him, I said, how long have you lived here? And he said, oh, we're 2 years. I said, do you like it? He said, love it. I said, I do too. And then I'm explaining that I've got my chickens and I'm about to start growing my organic vegetables. And then I said, and my passion is walking. I said, do you walk? He said, oh, me and Libby. I thought, oh, I've got a second name now. I've got a name. He said, me and Libby, we love walking. He said, do you know about the trailway? I said, yes. I said, we've cycled down it and we've walked part of it. He said, well, it's fantastic. He said, how far do you walk? I said, oh, sometimes we do 12 miles plus. He said, well, this is my suggestion. He said, you want to go back towards Blandford, and then you want to go through, and I won't bore you, he said, the M&S car park and da. And he said, now if you're on your bike, he said, you can go all the way on your bike or walk to Sturminster Newton. And he said, it's all off-road. He said, we always try and throw in a pub. I said, oh gosh, yes. I said, where do you recommend for pubs? So now he's telling me about the pubs. He's telling me how many walks he does. And I've now totally relaxed. He's opened the door completely. The doggy has just been down there and we're chatting away about everything. And then I said to him, cool. I said, I think I've been here about 20 minutes. And I laughed and he said, I know. He said, well, it's so nice, Lisa, to have you in the village. I said, I didn't catch your name. He said, Neil. I said, is it your wife, Libby? He said, yeah. I said, well, gosh, I said, we really do need to meet up. I said, look, let me give you this letter and my business card. I said, Neil, it would be an absolute delight to show you what it is I do. And I said, do you know, my solicitor, my accountant, my hairdresser, I said, my parents, I said, everyone that knows me uses this. And I said, actually, John over there, he uses it. And I said, I've now found out that Gail down there, she uses Utility Warehouse. He said, do they? I said, yeah. I said, oh, look, why don't we just get something arranged? Why don't I come and do a cost comparison, an apples for apples comparison? And he said, yeah. I said, do you know what? Most people that I see, I'm saving them £500 to £1,000 a year. I said, do you know what? You work that out over 10 years. And I said, you're looking at a lot of money that could be with you rather than with the companies. And you're going to get it on one simple bill. And he said, what a great idea. I said, look, I'll tell you what. I said, I've got no diary on me. But I said, why don't I put you in my phone? And when I get back, shall I give you a call? And he went, yeah. He said, yes, Lisa, do. So I took his name. And when I got back, I rang and I've got an appointment actually for this Thursday. Now, that was 15 doors. 3 weren't in. There's 2 more that could be good and 1 appointment, which I'm 100% sure is going to be wonderful. To me, that's time well spent. That was 50 minutes in total. And only 15 letters. And I've still got more to go back to. So I don't know whether that's good for you or not. Would you like to unmute and would you like to ask any questions? Because this is different to what I believe the neighbour letter people are doing. Anyone would like to ask some questions? And
Lisa, what do you say? I had one last week, which I made an appointment yesterday. And when I rang the lady, she said, oh, I've been doing some research and I've seen that Utility Warehouse is a pyramid scheme. And then she didn't want to go forward with the appointment, although she did agree to me ringing her in a few months' time. So what do you say to that? That kind of caught me off guard a little bit because I haven't had that before.
Melanie, that's a really good question. She said she thought it was she read it was a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, it's for.
Yeah. A good question to ask her is, how much do you know about pyramid schemes? Okay. Invariably, they don't know anything. I would have said, do you know what? Having been in this business for so long, and given, you know, this is me, I'd say, you know, given my accountant and my solicitor and my parents and my hairdresser and my GP and my dentist, do you really think I would actually offer something to people that I trust to look after me? And given that this company's in the FTSE 250, do you know what? They're transparent. They don't get involved in things like that. There's an awful lot of hearsay on the web. That's what I would be inclined to. Would anyone else add to that? I mean, I'd like
pyramids are illegal, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I'd like to be facetious and say this is the best pyramid scheme I've ever been involved in. But you can't do that. You can't do that. The reality is You can go down, right? This isn't about neighbour letters, but you can go down the line and actually say to them, do you know what? Pyramid schemes were something that were around, but they were outlawed in the UK in 1987. And that's true. Okay, so you could say that. The reality is the word pyramid scheme is something they've heard and they believe it's a good objection. They're out to diss it, really. Yeah, I would say that they're out to say, I don't want you to come near me. They're more frightened, possibly. Right, any other questions about the format that I've gone through?
There was just a question, Lisa. It's Jane.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. This time I am on the Zoom because I managed to rush in, but I missed the first half. So I have delivered some neighbour letters and then it takes me a little while to pluck up courage to go back. But what you're doing is you're knocking with the letter.
Yes, and I'm having conversation and I'm engaging and I'm actually friending. I am friending someone. I am asking them questions about life here, what it's like in the village. This is genuine. You've got to remember, this is me genuinely. I'm saying to people, do you know what? I think it's so impersonal to just put a letter through the door. I like the personal touch. One of my phrases is, I like to treat others the way I like to be treated.
Yes, I like that.
And what I've discovered is everyone has basically thanked me for bothering to say hello. I've only had one guy that was a bit short, and I think he'd be short with anyone. You know, they're out there. But in fact, here we are, one of them, sorry I'm not mentioning this, but one of them, he turns out to be a gardener doing people's gardens. And I went, oh gosh, you're a handy person to know. I said, can I take your name and number? I said, I might need you. He went, oh yeah, absolutely. So I've got his name and number. I know where he lives. I've got his address. He said, oh, well, let me take yours. And I said, oh, this is one of the three. I said, we must get together. I said, help each other. I said, I really believe in small businesses helping each other. What I'm trying to do is get back to what I consider a real basics, which is our business is about communication. Always has been, always will be. And when we engage with people and they get to know us and like us and trust us, that's when they open up and they will engage with us. And this is so hard. We've been doing this for now over a year, these Zooms, and I do them. And yes, I have results, but I don't mind admitting to any of you, it's nowhere near as powerful as being with somebody. It never will be, because you haven't got all the, I suppose they call it the energy. Ruth, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it is a very different experience. Of course it is. And I think we're just beginning to get used to it. Now we're kind of back to having a choice, which is kind of good, you know. People that joined in the last 12 months won't know any different. So it's what you know. But those of us that have been around a lot longer, then we will most probably always say the face-to-face has much more impact, because that's what we're used to. Yeah.
And also, you know, I said that we're about, God, I find it so hard not to say win a mini. Win a mint. We're about to engage and start doing the 20k giveaways. I am so excited about this, because I always realized the beauty of it was straight away, yes, there's lots of no's, there always will be, but the people that you talk to, it's the same thing. Do you know what? You've got a chance to build rapport. And when we're on the stand and we've got fairly newer people with us, it's an incredible coaching ground of learning about life's, people's personalities, what we call the colours. Do you know what? The biggest thing that being with folk is straight away determining what kind of person you're in front of, so that you can then not build confrontation. What you're doing is building a relationship of rapport, because there are some people that when I look back to my past before all the personal development, and I used to say, was I speaking the same language? You know, had you ever met anyone and it was like, what is going on there? Not a single bit of rapport, which of course now I understand is these colour things. And what that this is all about, and I know that Ruth is very experienced as well, she'll say the same. The biggest thing we've got to do is we call it building rapport. What we're doing is asking questions to find out about them, what personality they are, so we can grow together rather than be confrontational. That's what it really is all about. So everything we're doing, whether it's neighbour letters, going out and doing 20k giveaway, whatever it may be, it's always about building a relationship, albeit a small one. And that's why I've always felt very at ease when I'm out and around and I meet people and I'm instantly asking them questions. I've learned this stuff. It's taken a long time. It certainly didn't, for me, I don't think it even happened in the first 10 years. I think it took a while for me to realise that questions are the answer, always. Now, I will be going back, and hopefully if it's a nice day tomorrow, and sorry, but I'm not one to go back in the rain. I want it a bit dry. I will go back, I will knock those doors and I'll say, here we are. So hello, I'm back again. Nice to see you. Hey, you've got to keep it real, yeah? Did you have a chance to read that? Now, if they say no, say, oh, what a shame. Look, why don't I arrange right now a chance for you to see what it's all about? What I can't personally do, I'm sorry, I can't get a clipboard and I can't do a presentation on a door. I'm about to say something which I know is probably got to be careful. I feel that is the foot in the door salesman. That's what I honestly feel it is. And I personally can't do that. I'm all about making that appointment and getting the reception back that they want for me to see them. That's what I really, yes, Kathy.
Do you know, Lisa, that makes me feel a whole lot better because I can't do salesman. I've tried and it just doesn't work for me. So hearing you say this is brilliant.
But you know, Kathy, there's nothing wrong. There's horses for courses. Some people are absolutely brilliant at that. That isn't me, never has been. But here I am, over 600 personal customers, over 21,000 group customers. I've done something right and I know that it works. You know, I can say I know it works because I've always thought it's build rapport. And what I love to do is when I'm on that appointment is do that stuff, which is get the referrals, because that's the way that you really build the business. It will always be. Now, I hate the word referrals, people to help. My gosh, Claire Hingott was so right, people to help, so that whatever you're doing, make sure, and I mean, if you get someone right, I go back, supposing someone says to me, oh no, it wasn't for me. I said, oh, that's great. Did you keep the letter? No. Okay. Did you keep my business card? And if they say yes, and I say, well, do keep it on your fridge, because you know what? Who knows? One of your current suppliers just might do something that you're not very happy with. And please think of me, because I'd be delighted to give you that super personal customer service. So don't think of that as a no. It's still a no for now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Yeah, Dawn.
Yeah, Lisa. So them that you knock and there's nobody in, you don't actually leave a letter, do you? You just move on to the next door.
I don't leave a letter, no. I move on.
So do you make a note of them that you've been to and there was no one in?
Yeah, I've got some little sheets.
So that you
I write
can
it
go
all
back.
down. In fact, actually,
Okay.
I don't know. I'm going to tell you now, I don't use sheets. I've got a system on my phone called Evernote. It's absolutely free. And I've got an Evernote set up and it's actually saying the day, the time. And do you know what? I'm writing down the names of the places, because a lot of them around here don't have numbers anyway. And I'm writing such and such. And if I've picked up a name, straight after they've told me their name, as soon as I walk away, I'm writing their name in here. Now, why am I doing that? Because it may not be even for a few months before, guess what? I bump into them again, second point of contact. Do you know what? It might come off in the future. This is no for nows. I am not expecting instant return. Now, I have got an appointment from that 15, and that's great. And that was more than I expected. But the reality is, what I'm looking at is, do you know what? This is going to take a little while, a few months, but actually you're sowing the seed to good grounding, good rapport building.
Yeah.
So does that help, folks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lisa,
Yes.
can I just ask, that's great what you do in your little village and everything, but if you say you went to a big town
Yes.
to do that, what sort of script would you use then?
Well, first of all,
Somebody that's not a neighbour.
right, no, it's got, no, what I'm doing has got to be real. It's got to be in your neighbourhood.
Yeah.
And in a town, your neighbourhood, as far as I'm concerned, is possibly a 2-mile radius. Now, in a town, you're going to have a lot more doors, aren't you?
Mhm.
Yeah, because, you know, you're going to have houses that are next door to each other, literally. So you've got a lot more. So you could say to yourself, you've got more opportunity. I know that in this village, there's only 220 houses in total. Yeah, you've got a lot more. You could have anything like a couple of thousand. But this way, it's slower, but I actually think, I feel for me, it yields more.
But for those people that's not in a village, what would you suggest we say to someone at the door if we're handing them the
Well,
letter?
Hi, I only live 2 roads across the way. Hi, my name's Joe. I really believe in the personal touch. I just didn't want to put a letter through your door because it's so impersonal. I wanted to say hello. I've got a little business and I want to share it with people. You know, all the people that know me love it, but I'd like to make some friends locally and share this, what I do as well.
Mhm.
I keep it something really, really nice and informal.
Genuine.
There is no way you can, I don't think you can do a neighbour letter and go and drive 5 miles or 10 miles somewhere else.
No, I understand that. So do you manipulate do you take that out then? What do you put on the heading of the letter? Do you just put hi or hello or nothing? You know, when you print the letter off, most of them's got.
Mine's dear neighbour.
All right, okay. Yeah. If you're in the next town though, you could put,
I tell you what I feel. All right, can I be direct with everyone? Am I allowed to?
Yeah.
Right.
definitely.
I think we've got to be careful. If we don't keep the personal touch, because when we're doing, I will get into it, 20k giveaway. All right, I call it win a mini, whatever. When we do that, when we're building that personal contact, and we talk about that this business is a referral business. It's a communication business. It's about offering that extra personal touch. If we go down the road of driving 5 miles, delivering a load of letters and then going back, and I've had someone in my business do that, I can't tell you the number of complaints that person has yielded. And we are being disingenuous then. That's what all we're doing is basically doing junk mail. If you're going out and you're putting out 50, 100, and they're not local, that you're not building, you are as good as delivering junk mail.
Yeah.
And then we're like all the other companies, and we're not this special that makes us special, that has created customers that stay for many, many years.
Yeah.
The reason I sit on, right, and I'm not bragging because I don't believe I need to do any of that. I sit on an extraordinary amount of personal customers that have been with me for donkey's years. And because I believe that you keep that relationship going, and lots of them have come referrals from them because of that relationship building. I don't ever want it to be that it's all about, oh, just another customer, sign them up, walk off. That's not this business. I don't know. Maybe we want to move into that realm. I don't know, but I don't see it that.
No way.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I like your personal way of doing it, Lisa. I
Yeah.
think that's actually really nice. But
Well, listen, it's giving you the chance to say there is another way, because I felt I wanted, you all know me in the teams. I don't ask anyone to do something that I wouldn't try myself. Because again, I believe in that I want to be, what do they say, that leads from the front. And I find neighbour letters a very uncomfortable thing, okay? Very uncomfortable. But
Yes,
this
I do.
way, I have found a way that is ethical and sits well on my heart, that I am being true, whatever way you want. It's the right way for me. And I just thought, do you know what, when I mentioned the other day, and you know, Kathy, you said, oh God, I'd like to know what you do, then that's why we're here, okay? Because it's another way that maybe could work for you. I don't think there's a wrong way. I think there's many ways, all right? And it's just another way. Does that help, folks?
Yeah, thank you.
Lisa, can I ask a question about the letter you're using?
Yes.
Are you using the Helping Hands letter?
I think that's the one. Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't got any printed off at the moment. I've still got a load of them all in the envelopes ready to go. I've got them in the car so that if I have the odd moment, I go and do it. But I keep it to a small number because it's manageable. And when I go back, it's manageable. I don't want to feel overwhelmed. That's another thing. Do you know
More
what?
daunting.
Did anybody see Stuart Ritchie? He was so amazing. Oh gosh. And he talked about sort of almost bite-sized chunks of work. Don't set yourself such high targets that you miss. Why not set targets that you can achieve and then you can add to it? And I thought, yeah, how good is that? And I suppose this is a similar concept that I'm doing. I'm keeping it small, but it means I will go back and do more. All right. Okay, guys, we're time up. I'm afraid it goes so fast. Could anybody in the chat, whatever you want to know next week, coaching, please, we'll go into that. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Brilliant.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Used in Japan to prepare certain types of fish